The workplace will be drastically altered by artificial intelligence, which also poses risks to society. Some believe that giving everyone money will solve them. Is there a catch? Well, let's see. For ages, the notion of a universal income has been proposed, and its acceptance has fluctuated along with the tide of contemporary affairs. Proponents of a universal basic income, despite the fact that it is still widely regarded as a radical idea, now see UBI as the solution to some of the biggest issues facing modern workers, including wage inequality, job insecurity, and the potential loss of jobs due to artificial intelligence. There are plans in parts of California to give people no-strings-attached cash, regardless of their employment status. These trials aim to test whether universal basic income, UBI, can be a solution to potential joblessness in the future. By conventional measures, Andrew Yang's 2020 presidential campaign was unsuccessful. However, the political rookie's impact lives on the centerpiece of the campaign, universal basic income, becomes increasingly acceptance in American cities. UBI provides individuals with regular and unconditional cash payments to meet their basic needs. Proponents of UBI argue that it can help alleviate poverty and inequality, provide financial security, and allow people to pursue education and entrepreneurship. Critics of UBI worry about its cost and potential negative impacts, such as discouraging work and creating dependency. The trials in California will provide valuable insights into the feasibility and impact of UBI on society. During a recent meeting at Bletchley Park, Elon Musk expressed his belief that the advancements of AI will mean no job is needed, and that a job may only be for personal satisfaction. Karl Widerquist, a philosopher and political theorist who teaches at Georgetown University in Qatar, has a different take on the matter. You don't necessarily just become unemployed for the rest of your life, even if AI takes away your job, he explains. What happens is that the lower-paying professions get crowded out as you move down the labor market. According to Widerquist, the development of AI will force white-collar people into a gig economy and other low-wage, unstable jobs, at least in the near future. He worries that this change in the labor market would result in lower pay and working conditions as well as greater inequality. According to Widerquist, a UBI policy in response to AI and automation would address employers' failure to equitably divide the benefits of economic growth driven, at least in part, by automation among workers. Some even go so far as to claim that workers should receive a dividend from the UBI in recognition of their contributions to a creating and sharing of knowledge that powers AI models like ChatGPT. Editors of the website Basic Income Today, Scott Santens, wonders, why would only one or two companies get rich off the capital, the human work that we all created? According to Loic Groot, an associate professor of public sector economies at Utrecht University, universal basic income presents a similar attractive alternative if workers rendered redundant by automation in the future and are unable to find new employment. In a 2017-2019 study, unemployed people who had previously received social assistance in the Netherlands were provided with the basic income by Groot and colleagues. The survey showed a rise in labor market involvement, according to Groot. This was not just because of the UBI's financial assistance, but also because the terms and penalties associated with not meeting them that were previously placed on job applicants were eliminated. In particular, those who were released from the need to look for and accept employment had a higher chance of landing a permanent contract, the opposite of the kind of precarious employment that Widerquist had described. Increased payouts have caused some people to cut back on their working hours, even though UBI tests often do demonstrate that the policy encourages workers to completely abandon the labor market. Groot asserts that this is not necessarily a bad thing. He asks, if you can objectively see that there are not enough jobs around, then why try to push everyone into paid work? Why not allow those with viable alternatives to take on less work and no work at all in exchange for receiving the basic income? One of the good alternatives is the chance to retain or upskill. It's also feasible that the legislation will change society's definition of what constitutes work in the past. Women make up the majority of caregivers, and they may receive compensation for labor that is customarily performed unpaid, like raising children or looking after elderly relatives. Since 2017, about 5,000 people in Kenya have benefited from the largest UBI program in the world, which pays them roughly 75 cents each day. Donor-funded and operated by Give Directly, the trial will last for 12 years. Tavni Suri, a professor of applied economics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and a member of Give Directly's research team, reports that she and thus far observed several unexpected outcomes. People are indeed quitting low-paying jobs, according to her. They're going out and establishing businesses, and the businesses are flourishing because money is available. Because fewer people are seeking waged employment, earnings have increased for those who take them as a result of this unanticipated surge in entrepreneurship. If we see a 20% increase in businesses in a developing country, that's people who are going to pay taxes, adds Suri. Due to the fact that farmers who employ a large portion of the workforce in Kenya are generally exempt from taxes, a large number of people suddenly find themselves in tax brackets and begin making purchases. Sales tax is one of the main sources of income for the government. Rosanna Marola, a macroeconomist and researcher at the International Labor Organization, has thought of a totally different strategy for nations where automation is bigger concern: a robot tax. Marola characterized the idea of taxing businesses that use robots to replace human labor as philosophically appealing, although not immediately feasible, in a research paper from 2022. At this point, suggestions regarding the practical implementation of a robot tax are still quite vague, she states. Legislators will probably have to cope with the difficult task of determining what qualifies as a robot and how to tax it. It's still unclear what constitutes a machine, a robot, or artificial intelligence. Nevertheless, Marola thinks the idea of a robot tax may be expanded to cover AI in more recognizable forms. She proposes that businesses that utilize AI to carry out services, make judgments, or automate operations may have to pay taxes on the income of profits produced by these processes. Governments might also impose tax on the gathering, processing, or selling of data, which is crucial to AI, with the proceeds going towards lessening the effects of the technology or displaced workers. According to Joe Chrisp, a researcher at the University of Bath's Universal Income Beacon, discussions about automation in the workplace may resemble counsel of despair. Chrisp considers himself a friendly skeptic, but he does think that a universal basic income may benefit workers. A universal basic income, according to Chrisp, runs the risk of facilitating the proliferation of these types of jobs, rather than incentivizing people to find more stable work, despite the claims at some that AI might push workers into the gig economy and help pull them out. Furthermore, he expresses his continued skepticism on potential UBI models, characterizing even the most basic ideas as difficult to sell, because they're likely to call for significant tax hikes. According to research by the think tank Autonomy, a modest universal basic income plan would not raise taxes overall, but it would likely need larger contributions from the wealthiest citizens. That model would have poverty among children and pensioners and is effectively cost-neutral, argues Will Strong, director of research at Autonomy. However, I don't think it would be high enough to accomplish some of the more costly cultural adjustments. Chrisp concurs that the plan is needed in the medium run to assist employees in finding new positions in an evolving industry. What do you think about the opinion? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, don't forget to hit the like button below. And if you want to stay updated with more great content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button and ringing the notifications bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.